when he's missed one, as he did even in that last game of the first set. He actually looked across and wondered. He's been hitting it so well. Also noticeably, Federer using many fewer slices, which I think is not a bad thing, hitting through the ball much more on his backhand than he usually does against Nadal. I thought he lost the first game of the match, his own serve, because he didn't once go to Nadal's backhand on the serve, either first or second serve. I mean, for the start of the match, I would have thought he would really have picked the side towards which to hit right away. Okay, he broke back.
He really needs this game. The serve you mean for him. That's the one we've been talking about the whole tournament. He's used it so much against everybody else.
I thought he was using it because it's never been his best serve, the serve out wide. Even this one, he doesn't get way up the block. You can see where he gets it. And frankly, Nadal ought to have done a slightly better job. But it's almost as if he's been practicing it, ready for this match, should he meet the left-hander.
Close. Nadal was walking. Federer was walking. Both of them thought it hit the line, and Hawkeye will tell us.
Yeah, pretty sure it did, although Federer seems to be in some little doubt. Looked pretty good to me. But there again, it's that same serve. He's got to use it against Nadal. And if he continues to do it, he can do it on the left court as well as the right. The right, it's essential. Because it opens up the court, and he's then got the option of the forehand into Nadal's open court or else to wrong foot.
And I suppose for him, in love 30 in that game, Nadal didn't hold the game, didn't break the game. But he just walks to the chair, he's set up, he's won love down, no big deal. And I suppose when you've got a bit of self-doubt, if we're right, that's what Federer is suffering from. All the little mini battles, they just chip away even more at the self-doubt.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I didn't think Federer would win the tournament, but once Nadal had that long match against Verdasco, I thought Federer would take that opportunity of winning this.
Love one, second set. Better point though, flattened it out, took it early again where he started the match, but it's just tough to execute.
Well, and the problem is, as I was saying, Nadal's hitting his backhand so well, he can't be assured of winning these points. Plus he's missed a couple of forehand volleys in the match. Of course, Nadal can't be too sure now that Federer's not going to run around it as he did to break the Nadal serve. That was a master stroke, wasn't it? He hadn't looked to run around the back, and then suddenly at break point, Federer moved his feet and got the forehand into play. Which just gives Nadal thoughts as to where he should strike his second serve.
Please. $30-15.
And the same, of course, applies to Nadal with his swinging serve. He can take the right-hander even as fast as Federer is. And also the extra reach that Federer has with a single-handed backhand.
40-15.
No problem returning off the backhand at 40-15, Federer. One into out, one down the line. Free swing. He's becoming as intimidating on a hard court as he is on a clay court.
1 game over.
Well, I was watching some of this tennis outside. I hadn't realized the amount of backhand winners. I was saying, to me, he's playing his backhand better than I've ever seen him doing. He's actually hitting more backhand winners than he is forehand winners, Nadal. And that is frightening, because we know the forehand's going to pick up. He has not been hitting his forehand down the line as well. That's what you expect occasionally on that backhand. He just comes over it a little too soon. Hardly done any of that. Looks very much spring in the step still, isn't there? Gosh, I'd love a pair of those shoes.
Yes. You're hoping for Roy of the Rovers, are you? Making a comeback.
That's it off.
Brilliant. He's probably surprised how difficult the point became, but he's got the skills.
40 love.
Yes, and it wasn't exactly the Federer Express here, but it was certainly the Federer touch, wasn't it? And again, another example of the Nadal backhand stretching the Swiss.
Yeah, Federer.
A love game. That's a rarity. It's the first of the match.
Federer leads 2 games to 1.
Federer 2-1 second set.
Crossover Seoul. On February the 25th, the first worldwide sport forum in Barcelona. Speakers and debates of the highest caliber. Economists, politicians, NGO representatives, sociologists, researchers, experts, international sporting organizations, sports icons. Because sport reflects society. Global Sports Forum, Barcelona.
The Australian Open, brought to you by Kia, the power to surprise.
Much to talk about at another change of ends. Can Federer turn it around? Will Nadal keep it up? 1-2 second set. Oh, he's hugging that baseline again, Federer. Can't emphasize enough how tough it is with this much topspin to hit a ball literally half a second. It's almost like a half volley from the baseline consistently when you stand up.
Watched by some of the all-time Aussie greats. Not that he's aware of that right now, but of course he'd love to put on an even more outstanding show for them. Of course, most of the great players that I've spoken to just admire his classical style of tennis. The single-handed backhand, the effortlessness about it, the great athlete that he is. Yes, they admire Nadal, but they tend to be much more in the Federer camp.
Just the trajectory, the margin for error built in, but the power and speed too.
It's ironic, isn't it? Because he's not played that shot. It's his forte.
40-30.
As well as he sometimes does. It's almost as if he's made a little adjustment to the grip for the backhand, is hitting it better, but as a result hasn't got the grip quite right for the forehand. Come on, Uncle Tony, give me the sign. Oh, can Federer do the running around bit? Well, I don't know about the white cross, but after a rally like that, maybe the red cross would have done more justice. And this is Nadal after that epic semi-final. 16 pretty quality strokes.
40-15 to Juice. Into the point so well too.
Well, maybe there's a lesson there. If you play it deep enough initially to Nadal in the forehand, look how it drives Nadal back. It means that he's quite a long way back in. He can't give the ball as much power or as much spin on the forehand, and it leaves Federer that option. Not easy to achieve there.
Break point.
Yes.
What a time to change it up. Federer completely going the wrong way. Most would have been.
This is so clever.
His first ace.
This is partly the novelty value of that serve that did it. It's a bit like Federer when he broke Nadal in the first set. The novelty value of, for the first time, running around the backhand and playing the big forehand at the break point. Athletes with brains. challenge it, I would think.
Federer challenging the ball on the
Yeah, he
right
is.
far side. Ball was called out.
It's the third one he's missed. In a similar vein, if it is wide.
Very close. More out than in, but did it just get a bit of the line? Of course, there'll be a replay if it was called in, if it is called in.
It is. Nadal shaking his head. He can't believe it.
The balls. Advantage Nadal.
It's a great break for Nadal, really.
There's that backhand as good as a forehand again from Nadal
New ball
to level the
face.
second set.
2 games all.
And you look at his walk, his face, the belief is just gigantic.
And the strength,
Yeah.
the vigor that there is there. I mean, just no signs of a 5-hour marathon.
Yeah.
I know because it was Verdasco and Nadal, most other people would probably have played it around 4 hours, 15 minutes, with Nadal taking as much time, and Verdasco was almost taking as much time as his fellow Spaniard. But even so, considering they were two Spaniards playing one another, extra tension in the match.
Merkel looking a little worried. Played. Do you think that match, the longest match in Australian Open history, 5 hours and 14 minutes.
59.
His first 5 matches was 9 hours odd. But you would have still have expected it to have hurt him more from what we've seen so far.
Oh, I thought so.
Yeah.
Federer playing this well. Against Verdasco, he had 27 forehand winners and 4 backhand winners. 4 backhand winners over 5 hours. Tonight, he's at 8 already. Another shot to be banned. I thought it was his forehand we were looking to outlaw.
15-30.
Well, Federer can't beat him. If he continues to play like this, there's just no way Federer can beat him.
He's just got to drop shot him. Short ball him. He's,
Get down on his knees. There has to be a lot of praying.
Yeah. He nearly made that one.
30.
Well, the backhand was more Nadalian. Finally, a bit of a miss hit. Federer could then take advantage. And you might say, well, if Nadal hitting the backhand that well, why should Federer serve wide on the right court? I'm afraid you've still got to do it.
Yeah.
You've still got to look to pull him out of court.
And more often than not, it would release Federer's forehand.
Exactly.
Break point. break. Second set goes to the world number one. The set in 3-2 now. It's looking ominous for Federer.
Be less discouraged. Be more determined. Less timid. More brave. Less distracted. More present. Less wasteful. More environmental. Less me, more we. We ask a lot of ourselves. Shouldn't we ask as much of our cars? At Toyota, we create future technologies that minimize the negative, maximize the positive, and humanize mobility.
In serious trouble now, Roger Federer. Nadal is setting a break to the good. Remember, in the Australian Open and US Open, Nadal had never been beyond the quarterfinals until last year at either event. He's looking at the moment like a seasoned campaigner on the stuff.
Well, I suppose a lot of people would remind us that he's looking like an Olympic champion.
Oh, slightly late.
Love 15.
No challenge from Nadal.
Haven't seen many of the single-handed backhand slices from Nadal either, have we? No need to use that. He's hitting the two-hander so well, and of course when he does hit it, what it means is that Federer's got that much more time as he did there.
There's no way he's going to beat him from the back from what we've seen. It's either got to go in more or he's got to bring Nadal in more. It's either or.
Oh,
15-30.
a rarity.
And his first double, just his 10th of the tournament.
Yes, he served just 3 in 5 hours against Verdasco. I don't expect many more.
No hint of a slice return, a block return.
Well, he's obviously told himself to hit through the ball. He's playing far fewer slices, as I was saying, and that's not a bad thing. But what he was trying to do there was actually block the ball on the stretch rather than really committing. Gosh, it's so easy from up here.
It certainly is. Always has been. Commentary box is unbeaten around the world. It's a break-back point, and this, we feel, is a lifeline point for all concerned. He's got it. That's the first come on from Federer. 3-all second set. Little lapse from Nadal?
Undoubtedly, yes. It's hardly overconfidence. He knows who he's up against, even though he's got a winning record, of course. 12 wins to Federer's 6 wins.
Well, this must be like the cool breeze that came in when it was 43 degrees one day for Federer. A few errors, a few cheap points. Love that shot. It's one of his best.
Yes, and Nadal can't pick it because Federer has been varying it. We saw him run down to break serve in the first set and play it down to Nadal's backhand side, so Nadal just as slow in anticipating it.
Well, I mentioned
30-15
from the Verdasco win, it was a Ben-Hur performance. Well, this was Samson-like.
Second serve, just 142 kilometers an hour, 88 miles an hour. Pity, because he had him.
30-all.
His worried brow there. Who can blame him?
Second serve points won in the match, 37%, 11 from 30, Federer.
But the crucial thing is he usually serves it way into the 60s, and he's only 45% first serves in. That is so un-Federer-like.
Well played. Didn't quite get the width he would have wanted on that first forehand, but the play was there.
Yes, he opened up the court with the serve, even though it was to Nadal's backhand, which he's hitting so well.
A couple of welcome games in a row for them and for him.
Federer leads 4 games to 3.
4-3, second set.
Because some of us were born to shop. Because airport dining has come even further than you have. Because a day spa can also be a middle-of-the-night spa. But mostly because the more we travel, the more discerning we become. We invite you to the Emirates Terminal at Dubai International Airport, where time is enjoyed, not merely passed. Fly Emirates to 6 continents.
Lacoste, official outfitter of the Australian Open.
Welcome back. Don't know how you're feeling at home, whether you feel that Federer's now back in this or whether the vibe is it's still all Nadal, and only 2 points in it in terms of the points won so far. Nadal's won 2 more at 62. But he's done so well with that little lull from Nadal to get his nose back in front.
I have a feeling this is his chance. Nadal just a little subdued, and who can blame him? Terrific effort in the first set after that marathon match against Verdasco. This is Federer's chance, surely. Tickets here, $290 each. Australian dollars, that is.
And nobody minds a jot. Nadal 3-4.
That's the problem. You know, when you were saying he's got to get in more, you know as well as I do, he's got to go in against Nadal, one of the best passers in the world. He's got to go in with real quality, and when he hits a backhand, a volley, whether it's backhand or forehand, it's got to be a ripper.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he gets ripped.
Superb. And you mentioned Beijing not that long ago. Nadal, gold medal in the singles. And of course, Federer put a lot of his US Open success down to the doubles gold medal, which prompted the comment I made earlier on in the tournament. Why not play more doubles to hone the skills needed against Nadal at times? Such an effective shot. Now we're starting to see it when he's in trouble. That would make a good return too from that out wide ball. Down the line slice.
15-30.
He's used the slice very sparingly. Had to use it there, otherwise I don't think he would have. He's obviously told himself to use it less because he's used it in all his other matches against Nadal and come unstuck 12 times. This is a point and a half. Well, ironically, the Andy Roddick, the squash-type shot that Federer had to make in defense actually worked in his favor because by its very nature, it's a slice, and it kept low, and it meant that Nadal had real problems dictating from that point on.
Two break points. He's converted half so far, 3 from 6.
Thank you.
Too good.
So it must have just got the outside of the line.
30-40.
Federer didn't look at the mark, didn't look like challenging. A quicker angle serve, slightly lower ball toss.
Yes.
Max Verlander was telling us that he has his racket strung year in and year out, 25 kilos, pretty tight, very thick strings, synthetic strings.
Clenching of the racket there from Federer. He got onto the return a lot earlier, didn't he? For the drive. He's hell-bent to drive it, it seems, on every return, irrespective of the ball coming at him. He's got another chance.
Done it again. That marathon didn't tire his brain at all. Just an innate tennis skill and mind.
Second time switching it up on a break point to provide the ace.
His fastest serve of the match too, 197 kilometers an hour, 122 miles an hour. Well, Nadal gave him the opportunity, but it had to be a top shot by one of the greatest players of all time in order to win it. Just can't afford to give Federer too many of those mid-court shots. Nadal not finding the angle that he needed.
Fourth break point of the game.
Oh, does he go down the middle? More likely to go wide, I would think. Mr. Bradman shaking his head here. And he is after a man who won the British Nationals one year. Just wanting Federer to play a few more slices.
Or the forehand.
Well,
gamble.
Yes,
I mean, who am I? British national champion compared to Federer, but I've called enough matches just to crave for him to do it. He did it in the first set to get that, what we thought might be a decisive break.
Yeah, but then the problem is Nadal's been hitting those down the middle. It's a mind game.
Yeah.
Second shot of the rally, and the longest of the match, I believe. Federer trying a loopy shot during the course of that. I don't think that's a bad idea. Generally, Nadal will return short. On this occasion, Nadal didn't. It's perhaps worth trying again. On the other hand, people will say, forget the loops and get in. Get in against Nadal, it's not easy.
Yes.
Somehow Federer's got to feed off that error. It's unexpected.
Yes, it's more the normal sort of shot for Nadal, and by that I don't mean he makes error after error, just that he's made so few errors on the backhand and so many winners. Nadal missed his opportunity early on in that point. He had a shot where he really could have done a lot more damage. Is he beginning to feel it just a wee bit?
Advantage, Federer.
I just get a feeling Federer has got to break here. 5th chance. Remember one of the French finals when he had umpteen break points. Federer couldn't convert and the match slipped with it. Who'd be a watcher, eh?
Let for service.
Now, will he go the same way or now switch it? That's the dilemma for Federer. He asked the question of Nadal once more. Nadal didn't have the answer. Federer breaks. It's 5-3 second set.
I think Tarzan is just beginning to weaken a little bit here. Just beginning to feel all the efforts of that semi-final match, and of course of the first set. Superhuman effort in that first set by the Spaniard, but just beginning to drop in standard.
Thank you.
Didn't quite get down low enough. He hardly missed a backhand when needed.
59.
Not even Nadal can hurt off that serve.
Out.
Ooh, call from the chair.
And challenge.
And I think Nadal would have challenged it if the call hadn't come.
Ball was
Well, of course, now of course Federer's challenging.
Yeah.
The umpire's overruled. Well done, umpire Maria.
Got a little lucky, didn't he, with the penultimate shot, Federer, but took advantage.
30-15. Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Yes, this was full commitment by Nadal to the forehand. Kept it low. Could have played the loopy one to get himself back into the middle of the court.
Two set points.
No!
Roger Federer digs in. Salvages the second set. It's 1 set all.
Eurosport HD is now available. A new dimension in sport. Panasonic, official Eurosport HD partner.
Eurosport enters the new year with so much great sport in store. there's a whole stack of winter sport topped up by the World Championships. There's Grand Slam tennis with the Australian Open, Roland Garros and the US Open. Motorsport means Superbike, the Le Mans 24-hour race, World Touring Cars and Rally Cars, plus the IRC. Cycling sees all the one-day classics and the 3 major tours with Lance Armstrong back on the bike. There's swimming with all the excitement of the 13th World Championships in Rome. Track and field with the sensational prospects of the World Athletics Championships in Berlin. And a whole lot of football, including the Women's Europeans and the 2010 World Cup qualifiers. That's Eurosport in 2009. Be part of it.
Back to the second set stats. The Federer first serve at 37% still, but 9 out of 10 points, one behind it. He's still picking up on the winners to the unforced errors. But it's match on. Forget all the stats. It's turning into a super one. And Mats Wilander, the 3 times former champion, back inside the commentary box. You watch that second set courtside, Mats. How does the match feel courtside?
Well, it looks like Nadal is in control in the rallies unless Federer gets a flat shot off, and he needs to use that inside-out forehand flat, and he needs to go flat, of course, to the Nadal forehand. But that inside-out forehand flat is really the one he needs to go down to Nadal's forehand. He needs to dare to hit it. And of course, he needs to serve much better. I mean, he's just didn't look like down there that he was reaching up enough. And that's usually what happens when you get a little tight. The ball crosses a bit lower. You take him some pace off the serve, and he might not need to serve better to win the match, but it will make it a whole lot easier.
I think it's an even match too on the Wolf whistles for the torso. Nadal, a toilet break. And it must have been because he's changed his shirt once he's got back on court. How much does the self-belief grow for Federer now he's a set-all? Is it just a little bit? Is it massive? I mean, where are we on that front?
Well, I think at the moment it's massive, but it's going to change. I think throughout a match like this, it changes. The self-belief changes depending on the score and depending on how the match feels. And I think right now, yes, it's going to feel like he has a chance to win it, because I think after the first set he was doubting himself, being down a break in that second. It didn't look good from down there early in that second set.
It's a surprising little lull from Nadal just when he was playing at his very best. Set all after an hour and 50 minutes. Interesting point.
Yeah, he did get that service break, though, to 5-3 in the second set when he did come in, and Nadal missed the passing shot, so at least he's asking a question. I think Fru had an excellent point when he said that when Nadal went down the line with his forehand, he goes for the winner. Usually he loops it back to the Federer back and gets back into the point. Sign of fatigue. But Nadal is going to pick his moments, I feel, in this match, to when he gets really intense and when he tries really hard, and then he's going to let some points and some games go.
Five to 15.
Intensity level is way up again from Nadal here.
Ball to 15.
It really looks like from down there, courtside, it looks like Federer is using Nadal's pace in most of the shots, and sometimes he generates his own pace, Federer. And It's just a matter of staying in the rally long enough to get that chance for Federer. Another missed backhand though in the passing shot from Nadal. I think that flattening out the forehand for Federer is definitely what he needs to do, but it's also the risky shot, and it's a matter of daring to do it on the big points, because he likes to spin it in and bring it in by himself. Bring it down by himself, I would say.
Stabilising game for Nadal at the start of the third.
First game, third set.
Such a warrior. The expression on his face is so intense all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's obviously the fighter that comes out, but it's also the thinking that goes on in his head. I mean, he's thinking at every point, every shot of the whole tournament, or every match he plays, every shot has a purpose. It looks like he's just getting the ball back and doing the same thing, but that's really not the case at all. I think Federer switches on and off much more often. But he can't afford to do that here. He needs to bring up that first serve percentage. That's the main goal of the beginning of this set for Federer, I would think. Just such a good feeling for Federer to get that second set, though, after he had the break in the first set and was really close, being 5-2. 5-2 with Federer, you put all your money that you have on him to win the set. Doesn't win it, and then comes back and wins it 6-3. Just feel if Nadal tires just a little bit, loses some of the pace in his shot, that Federer could not run away with it, but he could be in the driver's seat here pretty soon. And there's a typical point where Nadal lets it go. Goes for the big winner at 30 love. Doesn't really want to get into a long rally. If it goes in, good. If it doesn't really matter. He's not going to lose confidence because he misses it. Because he won't take that chance on the really big points. It's amazing when you're down courtside, the amount of spin that these guys put on the ball. Something that's hard to see on TV, but
the pace off the bounce must be frightening. And then to have to take it early and flatten it out, which is what we've been saying. How tough is that? Consistently.
Yeah, I think they're exactly right. They're consistently for Federer to do it. It's different if you throw in somebody like an Andre Agassi who does it nearly all the time on his forehand side. Then you get into a certain rhythm, but Federer can't flatten out his cross-court forehand. That one has to have topspin. So it's tough to do it once in a while.
Made it. It's the first time he's won a point off a Nadal drop shot. Had to work hard for it, but it's 1-all.
Well, Nadal plays him at the right moment nearly every time. The mistake he made there, Nadal, was to not go for the passing shot with a backhand. That lob was a very dangerous shot. Of course, if it does work, this topspin lob, you as an opponent feel like he's toying with you.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing worse than drop shot lob, is there?
It was probably the most improved part of Nadal's game, the slice backhand. It's not just a defensive shot anymore. He can go in there and cut it pretty hard. Very much like Federer sliced. And he nearly ever makes a mistake when he does it.
It's an intended the call on the left service line. The ball was called out.
Chair umpire wasn't convinced, was he? Oof. That's the second time by the narrowest margin. Again, not a flicker or change of expression. But we saw that in the second set when he was starting to get a grab of the match.
30 love.
Just explodes through the next backhand. Looks exactly the same as the previous one. Open stance somehow because he's so strong in his upper body. Or half open stance anyway. Beautiful technique though, Nadal.
Mm. 30-15.
He's been trying to do that a couple of times in this match, Nadal. Double fault in that first court. Hit the middle line there a couple of times.
Wide.
Little exhibition tennis here, guys. Thank you. This is a clever shot from Federer going right after Rafa. He doesn't want to do that because they're decent friends. They're good friends, I think. Not sure who's quicker at the net. Desperate choice to hitting that drop shot from Nadal. But that's what the great champions do. They monitor their energy level and they play. I mean, well, no, it's a great champion as these guys, but you never get tired because you monitor your energy level and you play certain points because you're tired, and then you switch on your reserve for a while and then you come back. It's a brilliant slice from Federer to end that point.
Yes.
It shoots through the court, this shot. And be a little tired, can't get down for those low shots. Big game, this one now.
Oh. Off his back foot. Where did that come from?
That's such a risky shot. It seems like course, it was easy to judge because it was a pretty flat shot from Federer, but you need some luck in this game too, especially at this level. So it's pretty easy for the two players down there to tell when their opponent is taking a big chance and when he gets lucky. I think Federer would have felt that on that forehand from Nadal.
Gave it a little shimmy, didn't he, Federer?
They've played each other enough times now. They know exactly where the shots are going. Federer sensed it could come down the middle.
He nearly hung on to it too.
He usually makes those little trick shots, doesn't he, Federer?
Did so well to get in the point too, but Nadal holds. 2-1, he leads. Third set.
12 months ahead of the Olympic Games, here come the Alpine Skiing World Championships. And for the first time, it's all happening at Val d'Isère. 11 gold medals at stake. The Alpine Ski World Championships, Tuesday afternoon with the Women's Super G live and highlights special on Eurosport.
In 2009, follow the top sporting events on Eurosport Player, Eurosport's web TV service. Watch all of Eurosport, Eurosport 2, and exclusive additional programming live and online. Don't miss the Australian Open live on the Player. Select the match you want, follow the players you want. All the coverage is live and exclusive on Eurosport Player. Wherever you are in Europe, follow the Australian Open anytime, any place, in your own language. Join us. Go to player.eurosport.com.
2 hours and 5 minutes they've been at it. Federer's won 82 points, Nadal 81. It feels that close.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's no way to pick a winner here. Possibly Federer, because he has won a point more than Nadal, but you do feel that Nadal is not going to run away with the match, that's for sure. Federer is going to stay close, but
take your seat, please.
It feels like it could turn in Federer's favor if he just gets up a break here in this set at some point. Just needs to get that first percentage up, though.
We can safely say that was a crowd pleaser.
Another on the senior tour here, you guys. Putting the overhead to him. Was trying to get this overhead over Federer's head. Somehow this drop volley is spectacular. Very difficult shot. Federer again going for the body of Nadal in this shot.
15 on.
Good response.
He's a good example of somebody who really knows where his energy is at. It's a smart play to serve and volley there, but it's also brought on by him having to work so hard in the previous point.
He's made some passes, but he's missed quite a few as well of those.
Yeah, absolutely. The errors of the backhand side come when Federer comes to the net.
They're both starting to wear their heart on their sleeves. Doesn't look comfortable on that forehand volley. It looks awkward almost.
Yeah, it's not very good technique. I can't believe I'm saying that with Roger Federer, but we can see here, he comes in and his left shoulder is just too open. His chest to the target, and you need to be more, with your left shoulder needs to be sideways. Keep that left arm part of the volley. Great response.
Really needed that, didn't he? 8th ace.
40-30.
Missed it. Well, that's Federer's first drop shot. He's probably still pondering how he got away with it. 2-all third set.
2-2.
New balls being prepared. There'll be a little lull here.
And that's one of those shots that I would recommend him not to hit, because I would much rather see him hit that slice, come in, make a Nadal make an error off the backhand side, learn something from it. Because I mean, a drop shot, what do you learn from that? Not much. You might win that point, but it's not an investment for the future. It's a risky shot. If it's a bad drop shot, you usually lose the points. If the slice is bad and you come in, he still has to come up with a pretty decent pass. That's why it's easier for Nadal to play against Federer than the other way around, because he doesn't have to think that much, Nadal. Just react to Federer's choice of shots. Such a dangerous shot. The backhand from Nadal.
Forehand has slightly taken over on the winners. It's 13-12, but you have to mentally prepare for playing somebody with 2 forehands, really. That's how much it's improved.
That'll be something that he needs to work on in the future, Nadal, is maybe to not run around and hit as many forehands as he does. And he doesn't really have to now, because his backhand is so good. He can step in and with that save himself physically.
$15-all.
And a good example on that return. There was no reason for Nadal to run around and hit a forehand there. If he has time, do it. Otherwise, take it earlier and with the shot that it's coming towards. That's why Andre Agassi, for example, was so good on hardcourt, because he didn't run around and hit as many forehands as other guys do, and he took the ball much earlier. Unbelievable shot. Well, we're getting used to him hitting this shot. I mean, no one can hook it in like Nadal can. With that grip that he has, he obviously changes his grip in this shot, because there's no ways with it has to be more open, the grip, more continental, more straight, like a serve grip. Federer must just wonder, what do I need to do with a volley? Still the right play, even if he lost a point.
3 minutes past 10, that pass.
40-15.
I only say that because I wonder how long we're going to wait until Federer's at the net again. Falling off a horse, he needs to get back up there pretty quick.
Well, definitely. He has a good percentage here, Federer. He's won 61%, and that's pretty much exactly where you want to be.
40-30.
I say that because at the French Open 1 year, he was winning 75% of them, but that means he wasn't in enough. He shouldn't be that high. If you're winning 75, 80%, then do it more so that you bring the percentage down. As long as you're winning around 55, 60%, then that's the right play, and you can keep doing it. 6 points out of 10 wins your tennis matches.
He'd love to make a special one where he can put his racket and arm aloft. He's been close a couple of times under the cosh. Some of the women, they just can't contain themselves in these points. Nadal, 3-2, third set.
Because of Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Because of handkerchiefs and cowboy movies. Because of letters and confetti. Because of strange names and familiar faces. Because hellos and goodbyes are so much more than arrivals and departures, we invite you to experience the Emirates Terminal at Dubai International Airport. Fly Emirates to 6 continents.
In 2009, follow the top sporting events on Eurosport Player, Eurosport's web TV service. Watch all of Eurosport, Eurosport 2, and exclusive additional programming live and online. Don't miss the Australian Open live on the Player. Select the match you want, follow the players you want. All the coverage is live and exclusive on Eurosport Player. Wherever you are in Europe, follow the Australian Open anytime, any place, in your own language. Join us. Go to player.eurosport.com.
The Australian Open, brought to you by Kia, the power to surprise.
Wonderful, just the atmosphere at the change of ends. Everybody's got an opinion about where this is going to go next and what's got to happen.
Not many people leaving their seats in the changeover.
No, there's a lot of thirsty people in here.
The vendors must be going nuts outside.
Federer 2-3, third set.
Love 15.
So easy to miss hit off of Nadal's balls because they spin so much. You have to be so accurate.
And there's your point highlighted again about looking to run round the backhand to hit the forehand. He turned it into a body serve in the end.
Himself. Really was just a serve to the backhand.
Being courtside as you were for the second set, does the spin of Nadal come off different every time, or can you block any together where you get a sort of feel of the same? Or did want to make it, Federer, didn't he?
That's a huge mistake from Nadal. 15-all. Needs to make Federer make the pass. It didn't have to be that good. You could float it and get really good net position here, Nadal. He's trying to do too much with it nearly. Just dip down with its chest there rather than bend his knees. Could be also a sign of fatigue. And that's the forehand that he needs to make, and that's going to be a difficult one to make once this match gets towards the end, because he's flattening out. The Nadal spin, the top spin is very similar every shot, but he's got side spin as well. When he's late on the forehand, he hook spins it, and when he's early, he hits it inside out. So that's the hard part. Yeah. Even with a backhand, sometimes he takes it early and he gets a little bit of side spin, and that's hard to judge how that's going to come off the court. A lot easier to see how Federer should play when you're sitting up here compared to down there, though. Down there, it really looks difficult to get in on Nadal.
Break point. First of the set.
Flatten out the cross-court forehand once. It takes a lot of guts to do that.
It's like another rubber ring he's given himself.
What an unbelievable point. And that's so interesting with these Federer and Nadal playing against each other, because you have a lot of spin, a lot of angles, and suddenly both of them taking big cracks and flattening out their shots, and then suddenly they go back to spinning it again. It's such a chess game.
Again, the slice. It looked awkward for Nadal. Federer holds. It's 3-all third set.
That should be counted as a net point one for Federer, I believe, because he has come in enough. And that time Nadal really didn't know if Federer was coming in, and because of it, he missed the passing shot. What a treat for the fans, though.
It is every time they face off, isn't it?
Now 15.
And the doubles are building. I think he's only served 9 into the final the entire tournament. It's up to 4 now, Nadal.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Federer is leaning that way, and Nadal feels like he has to get it wider and wider and more to the backhand. He's mixed up his serve in that ad court just enough, Nadal, for Federer to not know where it's coming. Much easier in the deuce court for Federer to pick a side.
Oh, that's long. Federer shot's in by flight. Federer's shot looked as though it was going long.
Absolutely must have been slight miss it from Federer in this shot coming up here. But the perfect approach shot, on the other hand, could get pretty good net position.
30.
Ooh, that was close. He decided to step in and flatten it out cross court. That would have been a tough shot for Nadal to get back, but so difficult for Federer. He's got so many options. Should he step in and slice the backhand, take it early, risk miss-hitting it by taking it early and not slicing it, or run around and hit the forehand? What a lucky man he is to have that many choices.
40-30.
I'd like to have those two backhands back here, Federer. I think he really feels this match is about to turn in his favor. It looks that way too.
I just feel as well on these big points, especially with Nadal serving, he's got to increase the number of forehands he plays, because he is a forehand backhand player, if you know what I mean. Nadal, it does look like he's got two forehands.
Absolutely. This would be a good time to run around and smack one.
Yeah, Nadal.
15-30, 3 points in a row.
Nadal
Keeps the pressure on Nadal. 4-3, he leads. Third set.
In 2009, follow the top sporting events on Eurosport Player, Eurosport's web TV service. Watch all of Eurosport, Eurosport 2, and exclusive additional programming live and online. Don't miss the Australian Open live on the Player. Select the match you want, follow the players you want. All the coverage is live and exclusive on Eurosport Player. Wherever you are in Europe, follow the Australian Open anytime, any place, in your own language. Join us. Go to player.eurosport.com.
Little rub down of the legs by a physio on Nadal's legs at the change of ends, and we think we heard the physio say to Nadal, "I feel a bit tired," and he looked a bit shocked, didn't he, Max?
He said, "No."
I think Nadal, I get this vision of Nadal spending a day in an aeroplane, arriving in Australia, the door of the aeroplane opens, and Nadal would probably come bursting out the plane, looking as fresh as a daisy. But just by the very fact that the physio has been on the court and was giving the right leg of Nadal a lot of massage, will that give Federer a physical lift, a mental lift as a result?
It could complicate things too as well for Federer though, because suddenly is he getting a little tired, he thinks? Do I lengthen the points? Do I not take as many chances? He doesn't have to win this set to win this match. He just might have to keep Nadal out there for another 2 hours to win the match. That's another option.
Too good, says Nadal. That out wide V play.
30-15.
Perfectly executed here. Textbook. It's just not an easy forehand against Nadal to hit for a winner.
Slice to the backhand. And Nadal, for once, looks impotent. that side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if he can get on top of the ball, Federer, like it did there, and he can cut it hard and it skids through the surface, it's the defensive slice that's dangerous.
A game of winners, pretty much. Federer will probably feel, because there were so many errors from Nadal. He didn't feel as though he had to do very much in the game to level at 4 games all.
Nadal really needs to win this set, you feel.
And the errors coming after the rub down. That could play havoc with your mind, couldn't it?
Yeah, a few easy mistakes there. Just feeling it here a little bit. Nadal taking a rip at that last backhand.
Love 15.
Encouraging for Federer. Discouraging thing for players is it takes 2 players to tire him out, not just 1. You can't do it on your own. It's a good choice by Nadal there. He needs to make an attempt at a winner when he gets tied and not miss the easy one, because that sends a signal to Federer. Breathing heavily here.
Love 13.
This really is a major chance. Nadal seemingly tiring. Errors coming from the backhand. Surely the assault needs to be that side in this point.
Let. First service.
Going for it here a little bit, Nadal. Definitely feeling it.
They sense something. It's 3 break points.
You must remember the reason that Nadal is tired is because he's not good enough in hardcourts to discard a Verdasco earlier in that match. He was playing too defensively, so it's really, you can't blame that loss. It's just not good enough yet. Question that play by Federer on that second serve. You have love 40. You're bound to get at least 2 out of the next 3 points back in play at least. Nadal is not going to ace you more than possibly once. You get a look at a second serve. That's the easiest shot he gets in this rally, Federer. He doesn't take the chance. Play outside of his comfort zone. Chose to play safe and paid for it.
Suddenly seems to have got his energy back.
Unbelievable, this man, Rafael Nadal.
30-40.
Two break points saved, 1 to go.
He'll be kicking himself here, Federer, if he suddenly does get in a big first serve, Nadal. Where does he go, Nadal? Now it's much harder for Federer to take a chance on this second serve. Of course, maybe this is when he does it.
He makes the switch on the second serve. That surprised pretty much everybody.
Well, definitely surprised Roger Federer. Didn't go to the Federer forehand. He kind of went down the middle, body serve. It's a tough one to return, though. You're standing still. Your feet they don't have to move. So it's an arm shot. No help from hips and legs in that shot.
Missed it. Break points.
Advantage, Nadal.
4 from 14, Federer. Nadal 4 from 5. There's much more baggage, the Swiss side.
Fabulous. Point of the match. Unbelievable tennis from both guys. We're not going to have time to show that whole point in replay, but deserves it. Oh, the top spin lob from Nadal was perfect.
How did he get it back so well, Federer?
Unbelievable. Suddenly, he goes for the big one out wide, flattening out.
Advantage, Nadal.
Steve McQueen would be impressed with that great escape. Love 40. Nadal holds. He leads 5-4 third set.
5 games to 4.
Physio back on to the right leg. What a game to save, Mats.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And again, that's the first point is the one that he needs to somehow make Nadal come up with a big pass or go for the winner outright so that Nadal doesn't have a chance to do anything. But of course it's easy to say from the outside.
Yeah. It's not often you see this man's legs getting some treatment. The knees we know about. Massive match against Verdasco, just the 1 point separating them. The double fought on match point, perhaps 5 hours and 14 minutes the day before yesterday. It finished at what time? It was 1:08 in the morning, Saturday morning. So he'd probably been in bed by what, 3:30, 4 o'clock? No earlier than that.
Well, he apparently fell asleep at 5.
Did he?
Fell and slept till 11. And went back to bed in the afternoon. But that's not sleep that you really...
Yeah. And crying
kind of sleep you and I have.
Yes. Two hours and 37 minutes. Federer serving to stay in the third set. He's got to forget that last game, and quick. Too good.
Can't say anything else. Just too good.
Love 15.
This is not an easy shot. 5-4, third set of a Grand Slam final. Do you see that side spin again? That's what players have problems with against Nadal.
Hates that.
Absolutely. Didn't really step in and take that return early enough, nor did he step backwards and loop it in. Can do that against certain players, but against Nadal, you have to be careful with every shot. Most players would have gone for a drop shot there, but Nadal knew that Federer was going to chip it long. Well done, Federer. It's not just new territory for Roger Federer to be number 2 in the world. It's also new territory for his player box, because suddenly he sits on his girlfriend and coach and friends. They sit on the other side of the court. They've been sitting in the same spot, same chair for the last 5 years.
Well played. And he's having to look up at 127 players instead of looking down at them. But 5 all third set. 2 hours and 40 minutes. Still an impossible one to call.
Very difficult. No, impossible. Somehow Nadal needs to win this. This is as big as the first set for Nadal. Needs to be ahead, I think. Just can't see him come back from 2 sets to 1 down.
Made it. That's the magic wand shot.
Unbelievable shot.
Love 15.
It's the angle, isn't it? And that one was a bit flatter than he usually hits him. But such a good technique.
He switched to the block return. Sort of chip block, wasn't it? Just didn't quite connect.
What a great play by Federer. I don't say yes because I'm rooting for Federer. I'm just saying yes because that's a play we want to see more often. Took Nadal by surprise completely that time.
On the line.
Great defensive skills from Federer that time. Couple of framed shots. Got lucky. He's hanging in there. Again, break points.
30-14.
Unbelievable two-handed cross-court backhand by Nadal.
What a get as well.
Did he have a shot at that? Yeah, maybe.
He set up well for it, didn't he? It was time.
No. Got to challenge.
Oh, that was in. Again, it was deceptive in flight, but the top spin brought it in. Point will be replayed. Oh, it's way long. Back to the opticians. And 2 break points go again. 4 from 16 now. None from 5 in the last 2 games. Wonderful. Is that it?
Federer challenged the ball on the left baseline.
Has to be
Ball
long.
was going in.
You think it's long?
Otherwise, I need to go to the same optician you need to go to.
It's going to be a long queue.
Rafa, equal out.
Oh, the lines judge has now called out.
On the left baseline.
So now it's a Nadal challenge. This whole point's become a challenge.
Huge point because it's a winner.
It is long.
Advantage Federer.
It's another break point.
Oh, too good. Just too good. Unbelievable that he dares to do that.
Yes, Mr. Nadal has
It's not even a risky play either.
Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Serve out wide, inside out forehand, and then back to the same corner again. Perfect tennis. Unbelievable.
Advantage Nadal.
These guys are covering some ground here today. Becoming a physical match. Guessed right. For once he went away from that predictable play, Nadal, but usually when he comes in and hits the approach shot to the Federer backhand, this time he went to Federer's strength and paid for it. Nadal dictating every point now from the baseline.
Nadal.
It's very difficult for Federer to do anything right now. He's going to have to hit himself out of this. Federer, though. Nadal has done it again.
Just digging deep. If anything, the intensity is just gaining strength. Nadal 6-5, third set. Break points, the baggage we talked about earlier, Matt. I mean, 4 from 17 now. And so many in the last 2 service games.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolute skill to get to break point, of course, against Nadal, but you have to do something else. You have to do more with a break point. Not try harder, but try something different, because that's a bad stat. 4 out of 17 means he's just being too cautious once he gets there. But taking chances to get there, that's why he's had so many. And of course, Nadal is not making any unforced errors when he is break point down, and he plays very smart points and he serves smart. But Federer just has to maybe forget about tactics and go for a couple of them. He needs to explore all avenues in the return game, that's for sure. He can't leave question marks out there.
Otherwise, it's sort of if you don't take the sort of mess up or miss out, then regret could be there, couldn't it?
Absolutely. You need to come in and after a few and hit a few and keep a few in play, and so you know you've tried everything.
That's as long a queue as there is for the optician. Five, 6 again, serving to stay in the set, Federer.
He was onto it. Well, they know each other's games so well, these two. Well, Federer was having that horrible spell in the middle of the hardcourt summer in the States. I actually saw Nadal and Federer practice with each other in Cincinnati. Get out of here. He doesn't look tense when he makes this shot, Federer. Unbelievable hands. Yeah.
(30-15).
Is that in? Well, it is, so he's challenging it, Nadal.
On the left far side. Ball
Drop
was
volley. Wow.
Very dangerous play by Federer, and a really poor shot from Nadal with that backhand. And that's in.
Is it?
It's not.
It's out. Wow.
Well, then the drop volley becomes a really poor shot selection.
Yeah. He normally goes big down the tee now here, Federer.
Didn't want to hit a second shot in that one.
Just wanted to stay in the point, Nadal, with a cut slice. Federer once more is the self-doubt re-emerging. It seems so. 4 out of 5 break points in the match, Nadal. Will he convert on his first set point, third set?
No, really needs to make it Same decision here, Federer. Go for his favorite serve, the slice down the middle, play a percentage play, or hit a serve which will never come back. That's a gutsy move by Federer.
Yes.
He would have to be expecting that return to come back in play, which meant he would have had to hit at least another shot.
Just wide.
Oh, high-class tennis right now. The crowd is living every shot as well. And that's that new Nadal on hard courts, going for his shots a little bit more, and it's also the Nadal that played 5 sets against Verdasco for 5 hours and 15 minutes. A little bit tired, maybe.
What a time to make your trademark shot.
Not afraid of going for his shots here, Nadal.
Yes.
Look where he hit it from.
Just wrong-footed Federer. And so fast.
His first ace for some time.
Advantage. Federer.
What a time.
Desperate to get into the breaker. Oh, he's struggling.
He's definitely struggling. Yes. You do not miss a drop shot sideways. Lengthwise, maybe.
3 drop shots in the game. 2 off the groundie and 1 off the drop volley.
That's a good time again for him. He must have a sense of Nadal struggling with a backhand passing shot. Federer has been in enough there.
Oh, that is a sensational angle.
Unbelievable. These guys are giving us a show here.
Advantage. Federer.
What a great shot. So far behind the baseline, be able to pull that off.
He's going to have a look at the mark, Nadal. Federer slammed the ball down the other end as though he feels he's made the ace.
Again,
and he's not
Federer.
going to challenge. We are into a third set tiebreak. Federer has won their last 5. He's 9-6 overall on tiebreaks in their head-to-heads, Federer. But Nadal has not won a tiebreak since Wimbledon 2006, the third set, when Federer won in 4. And of course, there were 2 special ones at Wimbledon last year to get him back from 2 sets to love down to take it all the way. So the odds would suggest a Federer tiebreak win here. But how many times would you back against Nadal?
Mr. Nadal is challenging the call on the right near side. Ball was
upset with himself here. That was a horrible shot. Not sure he was even trying to go for the winner there. I just hooked it badly.
1-0 Federer.
Just a bit slow with his feet there, Federer. It's a good return, but
one challenge remaining.
Takes the drive volley on. If he hadn't have done, boy, the point would have been difficult.
Yeah, classic Federer play, that one. He waits. He's not serving and volleying. He waits and he sees it and he recognizes the ball is in the air, there to be hit. Got himself back in that point, Federer, with that big forehand.
2-0.
Rafa suddenly changed it up and went to the Federer forehand and invited him back in the point. Just a bit late.
Let. First service.
Close, challenged.
Roger. Mr.
Yeah, he is.
Challenging the corner left baseline. Ball was called out.
Nadal put his finger up, so I would think it's out.
Yeah. It's well long.
3-2. Nadal.
Great volley by Federer. Such a difficult shot under the circumstances.
I'm surprised Nadal didn't give him a forehand volley from what we've seen in the match.
I'm sure he surprised himself once he watches the tape. It's such a hard choice to make when it's coming so fast. You don't want to give somebody a down the line passing shot because it opens up the court for a cross-court volley, which is much easier volley than the down the line volley. He's trying to get that ball to dip, so Federer has to volley up. Clutch volley though by Federer.
3 hours and 2 minutes. Set all. 3-all in the third set tiebreak.
This would be a good time for a slice serve and a serve and volley. No ways Nadal will go for the return.
Nadal.
Lack of confidence in his decision-making there, Federer. Didn't go for it. Obviously hadn't made up his mind what he wanted to do with it.
Too good. Out wide. side, then he had the options with the forehand.
5-3, Nadal.
It's just amazing. The harder he hits Nadal with the forehand, the safer it becomes, because he puts even more topspin on it when he lets his racket head go through the ball really quickly. No chance of him missing this one.
Just fabulous.
Oh, Federer must just be saying to himself, why me? Why did he come up when I was still playing?
6-3.
What a heartbreaker.
3-set points, Nadal.
But he is the one taking the initiative in these rallies. He's dictating and he's taking the chances, believing in himself.
A double fault to end the third set. Saved the 6 break points as well in the set, Nadal. And he moves ahead 2-1.